All right. Well, welcome everybody. Glad you could join us. Like Dr. Stacy said, I'm here in Texas. I live in Waxahachie. That's Ellis County. We're about 35 miles south of Dallas. And my journey all started back in 2018 when I was diagnosed with autonomic neuropathy, and I had type 2 diabetes at the time. And things just started to spiral out of control. I was eating whatever I wanted to, just like we all do. And I had bad habits and just couldn't get on the right track. So my health just started spiraling downward. And I was a deputy sheriff at the time. I worked 31 years here in Ellis County as a deputy. And I wound up having to retire in 2020 due to my health. My blood sugar was just sky high, out of the roof. I couldn't control it. Was on several different medications at the time for that, as well as some pain pills for the neuropathy issues that I had going on. And anybody that's ever experienced those type of pains due to that condition, you know what I'm talking about when I say excruciating pain. It's just the pain that you don't want to live with. You learn to try to do different things to make your life easier or better, and you just I don't know how to describe it other than it's just excruciating. It's pain that you don't want to live with. Uh, I had went to a neurologist and he did several tests on me. And once I got my diagnosis, basically every doctor that I ever talked to always said that there's really not a whole lot we can do for the nerve damage that has already occurred, but we can put you on some pills, which that seems like most every traditional doctor's recipe. Let's put you on a pill. So I wound up getting on four different pills at the time. And each time I'd go back to him, I'd ask for a stronger dosage because they weren't helping. And it got to a point where he said, Mr. Osteen, he says, I can't give you any higher dosage of medication than what you're already on because I'm going to start shutting down your organs, your liver, and your kidneys. And my family, they've had an issue with kidney disease over the years. My dad had that. My mom, she's a kidney recipient as well. And I just, something come to me and said, I've got to change my lifestyle because I don't want to go down the same road that my mom and my dad has went down. So I decided to go ahead and retire in 2020 due to my illness. And it got to the point where I was just sitting around the house doing nothing other than just being in pain. And I'd go to bed every night and I'd pray to Jesus that I wouldn't wake up tomorrow morning. And about 2.5 years into that, I got a call from a lady called named Kathy Stevenson, who introduced me to LifeWave. And she said, J.O., she said, I might have found something for your pain. And I said, Kathy, you probably hadn't. I said, because I've tried every lotion, potion, pill there is on the market, and nothing seems to be working. And she says, well, what do you have to lose? And I said, well, I guess a couple more $100. So later on during our conversation, I told her, I said, Kathy, I said, let's go ahead and order some patches and see what they do for me. She said, well, we'll never know until you get them on your body. So 3 or 4 days later, I got my patches in the mail. I called her up and I said, what do I do with these things? And she began to tell me how to wear them, how long to wear them. And I took her guidance and I started wearing these patches. And 9 short days later, believe it or not, my pain was completely 100% gone in my lower extremities. My feet, I couldn't believe it. Uh, I mean, I sat there at nighttime and I beat my feet back and forth just together to try to rid the pain or get blood flow going in my feet, anything to help. And that particular night, 9 days later, I'm sitting on the couch and my wife, she asked me, "Why are you not beating your feet together tonight?" And I said, "You know, it just now dawned on me my feet are not hurting me." And as of May the 3rd, I've been wearing these patches for 22 months now. And I can say for 22 months, I've been pain free.
Wow.
And the most exciting thing for me out of this whole 22-month journey is I told you I was on 5 different diabetes medicines and 4 narcotic pain pills and a blood pressure pill. That's 10 prescription medicines, folks. And 17 months after I started wearing these patches, I'm off of all 10 prescription medicines. I don't take any pills anymore for any of my diagnosis that I had. And that's just unreal. It's kind of hard to believe. But I'm living proof of that. I just come here tonight and I, I love sharing my story with people because of the life changing effects that these patches have given me. They've given me my life back. And I don't know how to thank Kathy and David Schmidt and Dr. Stacy, all of you leaders that have helped me along the way. Uh, it's just incredible.
Wow.
So, you know, I don't know, Dr.
Wow.
Stacy. I mean, it's
So
it has been a blessing.
it that is, I mean, obviously people are, they're mind blown, right? So we have some questions. First off, what patches did you start with? And, what have you added if you've added some? But where did you start? What were you using in that first 9 days?
Well, I started out wearing the X39, Eon, X49, and then I think it was my second month in, I added carnosine and then glutathione. And I wore the ice wave patch at nighttime on the bottoms of my feet for the pain. Uh, Now, granted, when I put those ice wave patches on the first few nights, uh, you know, like we're all told, those are mainly for pain, and you got to kind of play with those and move them around. Don't just stick them on your feet and expect, hey, my pain's going to be gone, because every person's body's different, and we all have different ailments going on. Some people's pain may be in a different spot from what mine was, or these are recommended to work in acupuncture points, and I kind of had to play with the patches to figure out what best suited me in my body to alleviate my pain. So I originally had started out wearing them on the tops of my feet, right behind my big toe. In the first 2 or 3 days, I didn't really notice any kind of relief. And it really wasn't explained to me at that time when I first started that I could move these things around to get better benefits. So I started doing that, and miraculously, my pain level went from 10 or a 12 just down to nothing. I mean, it was zero. I actually had feeling in my feet for the first time in over 2.5 years.
Wow.
I couldn't tell the difference between hot and cold. I'd go to bed sometimes and say, I tell my wife my feet are burning off. And she used to rub some different types of creams on it that we had gotten from a doctor. And I couldn't stand her to touch my feet. I couldn't even stand the sheet to lay on my feet. It hurt so bad. And when she would touch my feet, she said, "Your feet are freezing cold." To me, it felt like they were burning off. So for me to be able to get feeling back and tell the difference in hot and cold, or if something was sticking me, uh, that was just mind-boggling to be able to have those feelings back that I didn't have for 2.5 years. Other than it was just pain. As far as the other patches go, I really started feeling a lot more benefits after I started adding the other patches, the carnosine and the glutathione. As I went through my journey, I started learning what different patches were basically designed to do and to help repair the body. And I just wanted more. So I kept reading up on things and listening to Zooms, and of course, Dr. Stacy and some of the other doctors uh, talking about different things, the different effects that different patches do for the body, for healing and repairing. And my wife and I come to the conclusion that we needed them all. So today I wear all the patches. I've lost 43 pounds over 22 months. I haven't changed my diet in any way. Uh, my A1C when I started was 12.1. I had it checked here 2 months ago and it was 6.1. I think it's lower than that now, but I go back in a couple of months to have more blood work done. So I've had blood work done 3 times in 22 months, and each and every time that blood work has been drawn, the results have come back better every single time on all of my numbers. So this stuff works.
That's amazing. And I'm assuming through this time period, I think you said 17 months of being able to eliminate those 10 prescription medications, you were obviously working with your doctor and taking those down in the appropriate amounts and times, correct?
Of course, there were 2 out of the 4 pain pills that I just quit cold turkey one night. Said I don't need those anymore because I'm not hurting like I was. And then, of course, I went to the doctor, and it was my regular visit to go see him. And he's like, "Okay, I'm going to write your new prescriptions." And I said, "Well, these 2 meds I don't need anymore. I quit taking them." And he's like, "Oh, wait, you need my help in weaning yourself off. These are narcotics, and your body have been dependent on this for a long period of time. So it's not good for you to just cut them out automatically." So I worked with them over the next several months. And month 17, I got off of my last prescription. And that's saved me a ton of money in prescription money. And I couldn't be any happier than what I am right now. I haven't felt this good, and I couldn't tell you when. I'm 55 years old, and there's days I feel like a 25-year-old.
Wow.
I'm able to do things with my kids, my grandkids next door that I wasn't able to do. I mean, there was times when we'd go out to the ranch for a weekend. I sat my side beside my buggy and watched them do things. And this past year when we went, uh, I was able to do everything that they did. We hiked the mountain and everything, and it was brought to my wife's attention by my oldest grandson what's gotten into J. Paul, because the last time we were here, he couldn't get out of the buggy. He hurt so bad. So that's coming from a 10-year-old.
Mm,
So
wow.
it's noticed.